grand jury investigation that's resulted in the indictment of several past and present players on the roster of the Phoenix Suns of the NBA. We'll talk with one player who's been charged and with General Manager Jerry Colangelo. On After 8, we'll check out what is being called the new pornography, X-rated films made with women viewers in mind and produced by women filmmakers. The result, feminists claim, is a different kind of porn that they now claim is acceptable. We'll see. On some other notes, we'll talk to playwright Arthur Miller, to rock star David Bowie, and to Gloria Vanderbilt. And Gene Shalit will be in the Critics' Corner to review Project X. All that and much more ahead for a Tuesday morning on Today, Ann.
Thanks, Brian. That's our news for Tuesday. I'm Ann Rubenstein. Thanks for joining us here on NBC News at Sunrise. Have a good day, and we'll see you again tomorrow morning.
If you spent $1 million a day, it would take almost 3,000 years to spend $1 trillion. America spent that on defense in only 5 years. But are we safe? Tonight.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
The $100,000 Pyramid, weeknights at 6:30 on TV 11.
I don't care what my wife told you this morning. It was never for rent.
I don't care what the sign said. I don't rent to people who don't speak English.
We'd like to see that market for rent. Your right to fair housing is the law. If you feel you're being discriminated against in your effort to rent or purchase housing, call your local civil rights, fair housing office, or the Housing and Urban Development Agency.
You need a new direction. What to do is the question. Aim high. The Air Force, the first step to the future.
The Today Show, weekday mornings at 7 on TV 11.
From North Star Primary School. Good morning, 11 Country.
Now, the Twin Cities' fastest-growing television news, News 11 Sunrise, with John Bachman, Amy Powell, Steve Carroll on sports, and the weather with Roy Finden.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, April 21st.
It sure is.
Indeed.
Melissa's with us. Amy is on vacation.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Roy Finden is in the weather office.
Did you notice how cold it was?
Well, compared to yesterday. Yesterday, what was
walking.
it, 71 when we got here?
Yeah, walking from the car inside, just through the parking lot. What a change this morning. Let's find out exactly what the temperature, because yesterday morning it was 71, right?
That's right. I'm resisting saying poor baby, but so I've got the, this morning it's 44, so that's 15, 16 degree temperature change, all right, but it's still above average, and that's about all it's going to change. There'll be a little bit less wind today, but it's going to be another dry day.
Of course, Roy has a limo. He doesn't have to walk that distance, so he can make fun of this.
I tell you.
Talk to you later. More details. Topping Sunrise, though, a very serious story. A massive grass fire in Minnetonka leaves 300 acres blackened this morning. Officials are calling it the largest grass fire this year in the metro area.
Residents from a one-block area were evacuated, and 8 fire companies fought the blaze. A map lays out the trail of the fire. Officials say it started near the Grays Bay Dam and winds blew flames southeast along the Minnehaha Creek corridor.
The orange glow from the flames in Minnetonka overnight could be seen as far as 12 miles from the site. The river of flames spread quickly. Firefighters from 8 companies battled the wall of fire that stretched for hundreds of yards. Sky 11 was called in for assistance by Hennepin County officials for an aerial command post. We have a team report this morning, beginning with News 11's Ken Speak on a battle firefighters fought for almost 3 hours.
Can't go. The pressure's coming up now, too.
Tanker 31, go ahead.
We need more pressure.
10-4, Mark. Tanker 31.
They were tired. They'd been fighting grass fires for 3 weeks, and this looked to be the biggest one yet.
Okay, walk her right in. Walk her right in. Right in front.
There were crews from 8 communities fighting the fire, and they had to pull hoses hundreds of yards to get close to the flames.
Hey, got water coming!
They'd gotten the call at 3 minutes after 10, a grass fire at the Grays Bay Dam. But the northwest winds at better than 10 miles an hour were just enough to keep the flames moving faster than the firefighters could knock them down, pushing them just out of reach, forcing firefighters to add lengths of hose to their already long lines.
We need more pressure.
10-4, marker, 31.
We're losing it there. Somebody's got to fill in the gap.
It was an exhausting fight. The damage, swampland and parkland, not much to fight for, but there were homes nearby, and these folks had to stop it before it got the homes.
If you have a worn-out crew, report to the station area, and we will dispatch a fresh engine.
Let's go.
But they didn't go. They stayed till all that was left to do was to mop up, drench the hot spots, blast it apart till it was dead out. And then they dragged their hoses hundreds of yards back to the roads and sagged down to relax.
Open area, very high weeds, very dry. The wind just straight across. Nothing really blocking it at all.
We've had a lot of grass fires the last 3 weeks, and this was probably by far the worst I've seen. It's probably even worse than the one yesterday in Eden Prairie.
It's just the adrenaline, and everybody pitches in and just keeps working, and we all work as a team.
That's what conquered the fire, teamwork. And Carolyn Marinan says part of the credit for that goes to homeowners who pulled hoses right alongside the firefighters.
Pull it all the way down.
Residents hauled hoses alongside firefighters. It was a frantic battle, one that seemed impossible to win.
Charge it again, Jim.
Guys, got water.
Residents raced to backyards, hooking up hoses, doing anything to fight back the approaching wall of flames. Buckets of water in hand, Tom and Karen Anderson doused hot spots just feet from their home. For them, the nightmare was over. Their house, like all the others along Martha Lane, was miraculously untouched.
And these firemen just kept with it and just kept putting it out so it wouldn't go towards the houses. And they just saved one house after another, and they just walked it right around the corner. It was incredible to watch.
Chris Hammer and 13-month-old Alexander didn't stick around to watch. Instead, they left their home for a safer spot with neighbors.
It's scary, and the smoke is thick, and so we moved our cars down the road.
An ending that could have been disastrous wasn't, and neighbors who were evacuated returned or stuck around to talk to friends. Some newly discovered, brought together by this fight to save one another's homes. Carolyn Marinan, News 11, Minneapolis.
No injuries were reported and none of the homes was damaged.
Grass fire danger across the state has the Minnesota DNR alerting residents this morning. The entire state is under a watch for grass fires. In Wisconsin, the DNR says the northwestern part of the state remains under a red flag warning, and the rest of the state is under a watch. A fire in Freeport, Minnesota has a farm family rebuilding this morning. That fire claimed their livestock barn and more than 100 cows. Only 2 of the cows were able to escape from the wood and metal inferno. The Atkinson family says some of the cows stood in the barn doorway but were too panicked to leave. Mrs. Atkinson and her 4 sons are now left with the task of rebuilding 3 decades of farm work.
We're hopefully this week comes on, we'll try to get some of the tin stuff off and get the cattle buried and stuff, and we're just going to clean it off and just take our time, and we don't have too much young stock, so we don't have no really place to house any of them, so.
The fire wiped out more than half of the Atkinsons' herd, but they still have about 90 cows left, and their milking operation will continue. They hope insurance will help them rebuild.
Well, there is other news this morning. The state appeals court says a striking Hormel worker should get unemployment benefits even though he was fired. Alan Costantini has today's rundown of appeals court decisions.
The appeals court says that just because a former striking meatpacker yelled obscenities on the picket line, he should not be denied unemployment benefits. Merlin Christensen was fired more than a month after the incident, which happened on December 20th, 1985. But the court found that he was fired for acts he did not commit on the picket line, and that his bad language on the line that day can be excused as normal picket line activity. The court also upheld a second-degree manslaughter conviction of an unmarried college student who drowned her newborn baby. Elaine Grace Torkelson was 19 at the time of the incident. She claims she did not get a fair trial, but the appeals court found otherwise. Torkelson is serving a 24-month prison sentence. In other cases, the court denied David Leon Butson's appeal of his second-degree murder conviction for the drownings of his wife and their 18-month-old son, and it reversed a Dakota County trial court's finding that exclusion of a Class C driver's license from limited license privileges violates state and federal constitutions. That was in the case of a man who was denied permission to drive to work after his conviction on a drunk driving charge. And that's a look at today's appeals court decisions. For Sunrise, I'm Alan Costantini, News 11.
And the court's rulings can be appealed to a higher state court.
The body of a woman found in Duluth has authorities investigating the cause of death this morning. The body of a 33-year-old woman was found in an alley behind a downtown church early yesterday. Foul play is suspected. The medical examiner told News 11 overnight the woman has been identified, but her name is being withheld. And the identity of a body found in the Mississippi River is expected to be released this morning. The body was discovered on St. Paul's Lower East Side. The medical examiner says the victim is a man and had been in the river for some time.
Minnesota lawmakers are considering a new proposal designed to help small businesses and homeowners. A House tax subcommittee approved a measure last night that would decrease property taxes for small businesses by 22%, 5% for homeowners. The measure will now move on to the full House Tax Committee. Dry conditions in the metro area have forced some cities to ban sprinkling. St. Paul and Eden Prairie have total watering bans in effect. St. Anthony is allowing residents with even house numbers to water on even days and odd house numbers on odd days. Chanhassen has a voluntary ban in effect. Blaine will start an odd, even watering system May 1st, and of course others may follow if we continue with the dry conditions.
That reminds us, odd and even, that we never did have to use that in Minneapolis for any kind of a snow emergency.
That's
and it's
right.
exactly
All
that
year.
same dry pattern for the winter that continues here in the spring and keeps it from getting any moisture. Same thing. Well, it's a cooler day this morning, as John pointed out, and Melissa confirmed. The temperature is at 44. The wind is from the north at 14. And the dew point is 31. Relative humidity is 60%. The pressure is rising. It's at 30.26 this morning. Yesterday at this time, we were looking at the Doppler 11 radar and found a little area, some scattered showers up near Alexandria. Well, those produced 9/100ths of an inch of rain, less than 1/10 of an inch. And this morning, we'll look at the Doppler just to confirm that there are some showers down here between Lanesboro and Winona, and they are on their way in this direction. We don't have any moisture, any precipitation, any rain, any sprinkles even in our forecast here in the Twin Cities. We're on the edge of the system in which we were the middle of yesterday, if that was a sentence you can diagram together. And we should see some sunshine. An area of high pressure is arriving, and there is nothing even behind me that suggests there's going to be a change in that to produce any moisture for the balance of the week. By later today, this cold front will have advanced even further. We'll be more into the clear skies and a big pattern of high pressure for much of the balance of the week. But to take it a day at a time, this morning in the Twin Cities, we are expecting the skies to be mostly sunny with a high this afternoon of 58 to 63 degrees, a northeast wind at 10 to 15. Tonight, clear, cool, 34 to 39, light northeast winds, and then sunny tomorrow, mid-60s southeast winds at 5 to 10. So the most pleasant change is quieter wind for today and tonight.
And a little cooler.
Yes.
Still.
Thanks very much,
Thank
Ray.
you. Well, next on Sunrise, a change in the way Americans buy cars.
And the overnight performance of the dollar against the yen. Stay with us.
Nothing runs like a Deere. And right now, nobody's working like your John Deere Power Pro dealers to make sure you choose the best lawn and garden equipment for your home. See us soon or call this toll-free number. We'll give you a free hands-on demonstration of the John Deere mowing products of your choice. They'll let you know how much your old equipment is worth in trade. And we'll also give you a year's subscription to the J.D. Observer, our own full-color magazine, plus these booklets for beautiful lawns and gardens. What's more, now during Deere season, we're offering John Deere merchandise or factory discounts with most purchases. Like our 8 best-selling John Deere lawn tractors. Experience solid, vibration-free, overhead valve power that can mow and bag up to an acre of grass per hour. Financing's no problem, and we deliver everything. All assembled, tested, and ready to go. For your free demonstration and trade-in appraisal, plus a year of our John Deere magazine and the know-how books, meet your local John Deere Power Pro dealers. Call us now and find out why nothing runs like a Deere.
Many of my patients, either at the time of their diagnosis or during their treatment, develop a number of medical problems. And I can care for their cancer, but I like to use other subspecialists to help me with their other problems. Neurologists, endocrinologists, surgeons, radiologists. It's better for me and it's better for the patient because we are able to more quickly come to a diagnosis and begin the appropriate treatment.
Park Nicollet Medical Center.
Time now, 12 minutes past 6. If you're looking for some discount airfares for summer travel, you may be in luck. Several major airlines are extending their discounts through late summer. Continental and Eastern have announced that they'll continue their Max Saver fares, which were scheduled to end May 20th. The Max Saver tickets are discounted by as much as 80% and have been matched by some other airlines.
Trading tension eased a bit overnight between the U.S. and South Korea.
Kara King here now to tell us all about that. Good morning.
Good morning, John. Good morning, Melissa. Well, the South Korean government has agreed to allow more foreign products into the country. That announcement was made in Seoul just a few hours ago. South Korea has been under pressure from the U.S. to ease trading restrictions. The new policy will open the country to more foreign computers, candy, and auto parts. U.S. trade officials are in South Korea this week and had warned traders there about tougher U.S. trade actions similar to what's been used against Japan. In Japan, the dollar dropped against the yen. It fell 0.85 on the Tokyo Exchange Market to 142.10. In our business outlook this morning, two important reports being released today. The Treasury Department will release its budget report. The figures will cover last month. And the American Petroleum Institute will release its weekly report on oil stocks at 5 p.m. Japanese automakers are not having a good year in the United States. Their cars aren't selling well here. And for the first time, manufacturer rebates are being offered by Subaru. Kirsten Lindquist reports.
This long lineup of Subarus at Quality Lincoln Mercury Subaru in Bloomington is not a new shipment. These cars have been here for months. Japanese imports, once considered a great buy for the dollar, are not such good deals anymore.
With the change that's happening with the yen to dollar relationship, those prices have gone up, and the perceived value of them has gone down a little bit because of the pricing structure, and the cars have backed up.
These higher sticker prices are proof the dollar has become less valuable overseas. Japanese automakers have been forced to raise prices in the United States. Subaru has taken an unprecedented step to increase sales by offering a rebate program that runs through June. The Subaru rebates range from $800 to $1,500, and they apply to just about every popular model. If the rebates increase Subaru sales, other Japanese automakers are expected to offer the same. The record-breaking sales incentives offered by Detroit late last year set a U.S. trend, and Japanese automakers, for a change, may be following suit. Kirsten Lindquist, News 11, Bloomington.
And those U.S. rebate programs are another reason for the slow import sales. Many people who might have bought imports were apparently convinced to use the U.S. incentives and buy American cars. The Dow Industrials lost 5.39 points during the last session to close at 2270.60, volume 139 million shares. In London this morning, gold opened up $15.60. The starting price, $455.10 an ounce. In our business notes this morning, IDS Financial Services has chosen a site for its new office tower. The company has picked the former JCPenney site in downtown Minneapolis on the Nicollet Mall. And Minneapolis City Teamster employees have voted to accept the city's latest contract offer. The janitors and truck drivers will get a 4.5% pay increase over 2 years. And one last business note, Lee Iacocca has signed a 4-year employment agreement with Chrysler, and we think we figured out the reason for his success. Have you ever noticed what his name spells out?
No, I haven't.
Okay, let's call it the font and show you. How about I am chairman of Chrysler Corporation of America. I think that's the secret.
I wonder how that worked when he was with Ford.
Changes his name.
That's why he's not with Ford anymore.
Yeah. There you go.
There's the answer. Okay, thanks, Kara.
Thank you, Kara.
Nice to know those things.
Yeah, really. Still to come this morning on Sunrise, the latest on the deportation of a suspected war criminal.
A special program for training young women in the sciences.
How puppies can affect your health.
And the Brewers go for a major league record tonight. Steve Carroll will be here to tell us what's up in sports when we return.
Every Marvin window is crafted by hand to ensure it fits exactly the way you want it to. Because at Marvin, we believe a beautiful wood window can add more than light to a room. It can add life.
See Marvin Windows at Walker Lumber, Spring Lake Park Lumber, and Sawyer Cleator.
I've got a good job now, and I want a new car. Problem is, I've never financed anything before. What should I do?
At Brookdale AMC Cheaper No, we take the worry out of first-time financing. We have 7 full-time financial specialists on hand to help you buy a car at terms you can afford. Whatever your budget, we've got a car and a plan to suit your needs. In fact, just $9 down buys any new or used car and truck at Brookdale AMC Cheaper No. Call 566-7220.
For people on the go, it's the smart thing to do. Get your Q gasoline and grocery specials too.
Always wondered what the Q stood for, but since I began stopping here, I decided it's for quick.
It's quantity.
It's quality.
Quintessential.
What?
It's the quintessential superette. It's got everything. Gas, groceries, neat people, neat store, and super specials. Quintessential, see?
Smart kid.
For people on the go, oh, it's the smart thing to do.
IQ, do you?
The time is now 6:18. Participants in the Boston Marathon are resting their weary bones this morning. The winner of this year's race in the men's division is Toshihiko Seiko of Japan, I think I got that right, who withstood the damp weather to finish the race with a time of 2 hours, 11 minutes. And the first woman to cross the finish line was Rosa Mota of Portugal. The big winners received $40,000 and a new Mercedes-Benz. Not bad for running 26
Look who's
miles.
back with us this morning.
Welcome
Yes, back from
the baseball wars.
Yes, covering the Twins. A lot of folks thought maybe we were jinxing the Twins when
We were wondering, too.
But the truth of the matter was we never went to those first 2 games. So we just showed up on Sunday, and what happened? Well, they won.
Were you poolside? Is it?
No, we were working.
Okay.
Watching the game on TV.
That's right, they were working.
They were working, yeah. The amazing Milwaukee Brewers continue to tear up the baseball world this morning. The Brew Crew posted the record-tying 13th win last night and can set the standard tonight with another victory over Chicago. The Brewers coming from behind to beat the White Sox for win number 13. The final from Comiskey, 5-4. Chuck Krim got the win. Jose De Leon took the loss for the Sox. The Brewers just never seem to give up. Now down by a run, top of the 7th. Former Gopher Paul Molitor delivers a key hit just inside the left field line. B.J. Surhoff will score easily. That ties the game as Molitor pulls up with a stand-up double. The very next batter up was veteran Robin Yount. He came through with the game winner. A blooper to right field. 3 White Sox players couldn't come up with it. It drops in there. Molitor scores from second. The Brew Crew was on their way. Bottom of the 9th, now 2 out. Danny Plazak strikes out Greg Walker to get his 5th save of the year. There go the high fives. The Brewers win 5-4, win number 13 on the year.
I'm just a little bit overwhelmed by what's going on here. You know, we're just trying to relax and play our game, and you know, all it means is we're 13 games over 500, 13 less games we have to win later in the season, but it's a pretty amazing thing for this club to do at this time.
We have a crew in Chicago for tonight's big Brewer White Sox game, and we'll have live reports tonight on News 11. Meantime, the other hot team in the upper Midwest has done it again. The Twins regaining sole possession of first place in the West with their 2nd straight victory. Minnesota beat Seattle at the Dome big time, 13-5, while Oakland knocked off California 10-5. The Twins lead the Angels now by a game. Twins put their game with Seattle in the bag early. They scored 6 runs in the first inning. The G-man, Gary Gaetti, takes one deep to center field over the fence. It's gone. A 3-run shot. The Twins led at that point. It was 5-0. Next batter up was Roy Smalley. It was his turn to take one downtown over the right field canvas up into the upper deck. The Twins cruise on to win it 13-5. Twins are now 9-4 on the year. Elsewhere around the American League now, the Yankees bombed Detroit 8-2, Kansas City clubbed Boston 10-2, and it was Toronto over the Indians in 10, the final 8-7. In the National League, how about those Giants? San Francisco off to a fast start in the West, leading the pack with an 11-3 mark. Their latest win, a 4-3 decision over the Dodgers. Other games, Pittsburgh outscored the Mets. Cincinnati hammered San Diego 12-3, and Philadelphia topped the Expos 4-3.
You know, it's kind of sad because there's all these other teams that are doing so well, and you're not hearing about them because of Milwaukee.
That's right. The Milwaukee is the big story.
That's right.
Twins off to an incredible start, and it really is overshadowed by the Brewers.
Yep.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay.
Today is Tuesday. It's April 21st, and on this day in 1952, a prison riot ended in Michigan.
But other trouble at the Jackson State Prison lingered for several days. Prisoners had captured guards and taken over the penitentiary the day before. Most of the inmates returned to their cells during the first 2 days, but 2 of them continued to hold hostages. It took another 4 days of negotiations to convince the men to surrender.
Also on this day in history, the infamous Red Baron dies. In 1918, Baron Manfred von Richthofen was killed in action during World War I. And in 1836, an army of Texans led by Sam Houston defeated the Mexicans, assuring the independence of Texas.
And happy birthday if today is your day. You share it with some famous people. Britain's Queen Elizabeth II is 61 today. Actor Charles Grodin is 52. There he is. And actor Tony Danza is 36. Well, coming up, how the state's farmers are doing with spring planting.
And today's traffic trouble spots. We'll be right back.
This is how you pick the richest coffee in Colombia. This is how you pick the richest coffee in America. Look for the symbol of 100% Colombian coffee, handpicked by Juan Valdez, the richest coffee in the world.
Village Chevrolet and Wayzata Mitsubishi present our red, white, and blue take sale with super sticker price discounts that are easy to see. It's this simple. Choose a new car truck with a red tag and save $700. Choose a white tag and save $1,000. Or choose blue and save $1,500. It's that easy. No hassles, no dealings, no negotiations. We've already made the best deal for you. Also, we need your trades, so get great trade allowances every time during the red, white, and blue take sale at Village Chevrolet, Wayzata Mitsubishi.
Do you believe in magic? New lemon fresh dash is a dash of lemon in a fresh new way. The magic lemon scent will take you away. A dash of lemon in your dash, lemon fresh, clean and bright. A dash of lemon in your wash, a lot of freshness in your life. It's a fresh, clean, brighter place, and you will say they put a dash of lemon in new lemon fresh dash.
This year, Gardner Brothers wishes to give you more of a choice where to invest in a new home than ever before.
Savage, Burnsville, St. Paul Park, Stillwater, Oakdale, Shoreview, Andover, Coon Rapids, Ramsey, Maple Grove, and Cottage Grove.
Gardner Brothers Homes, building your future today.
43 degrees, 25 minutes now past the hour. If you're hopping into your car anytime soon, there are a couple traffic trouble spots that you ought to be aware of this morning. The right lane of westbound Interstate 494 between Cedar and Portland and Bloomington will be closed between 9 and 1 for survey work. And the right lane of southbound Highway 100 at Highway 55 in Golden Valley closed between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. for bridge repair.
You know, it may have been my imagination, but I don't think so. Wasn't there a little bit of rain yesterday?
Oh, yes.
I walked out and I got a little wet.
Yeah, a little imagination on my car, too.
Yeah, that's exactly, but that's that far above your imagination, just a trace here and there. Tonight, it'll be cold enough to snow. It's not going to. Could it be cold enough to if it was going to? The temperature this morning is 43. It's a dry day. The sky is partly cloudy, a little breeze from the north at 14 miles per hour. The dew point is 31, humidity 62%. The pressure is steady now at 30.26. One little bit of rain is remaining in the neighborhood, you might say, down just crossing the river at Winona, an area of showers. There have been some thunderstorms down in Iowa this morning as well. That's on its way in this direction. It's not a factor in our weather for the balance of the day. We need the broader picture, which the satellite will give us, to see exactly what's in our picture. And, well, let's see. Here we goes right about to Buffalo, I think, is about the edge of the clouds there, and the rest of them are on its way in this direction. So now let's look over here to see if there's any cloudiness that's heading in our direction that could produce some rain, and the answer is no, there's not. If we were going to get some rain, we need an additional flow from our major moisture producer, which is the Gulf of Mexico. We haven't been getting that. The upper air flow has been going in this direction, and that just sends the dry systems in our direction, as it has through the winter, and we're expecting more of that for the balance of the week. Looks like sunny today, sunny tomorrow, and a little cooler than it has been in the last couple of days, too, to go along with those sunny skies and clear skies overnight. We have the contrasting temperatures that we noticed yesterday when the front went past in the afternoon. While it's, oh, look, 28 degrees at Bismarck, below freezing there, and there's frost up in northern Minnesota, and it's still pretty mild over here in Wisconsin, 56 degrees in Milwaukee this morning. And here's the area of showers. Here's what we're looking at in the radar and stretching down here into southern Iowa. All of eastern Iowa, as a matter of fact. Later today, that cold front pushes a little further to the east, takes more of the clouds with it. Skies clear out even more where we are. Clear overnight, which will help things cool off and get down to a temperature that would be snowable if there was any. And then a lot of sunshine is on its way for tomorrow. So today's forecast details are fairly simple. A mostly sunny day with a high of from 58 to 63, a northeast wind at 10 to 15. Clear and cool tonight. The combination of the clear skies and light winds will let it drop down to 34 to 39 degrees. Little hints of frost. Sunny again tomorrow, a high of 63 to 68 with southeast winds 5 to 10. And for the balance of the week, we look for something in that left-hand column that would say moisture, and we find nothing. Temperatures remaining in the 70s. And that picture takes us right into the first half of the weekend, Melissa.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Roy. In case you're just joining us, here are our headline stories. A grass fire in Minnetonka overnight burned out of control and threatened a number of homes. 140 firefighters from 9 departments fought the flames for more than 3 hours near Grays Bay. The fire came within feet of several homes, and those residents had to be evacuated. But quick work by firefighters and residents saved those homes. No one was injured. 350 acres of grassland was lost. The cause of the fire is still under investigation this morning. A farm family in Freeport is beginning the slow process of rebuilding this morning after a fire destroyed their barn. More than 100 dairy cows were killed in the fire. Only 2 were able to escape. The fire wiped out more than 1/2 of the Atkinsons' herd. They say they plan to continue their milking business. The family wasn't injured in the fire. A damage estimate hasn't been determined. And the identification of a body pulled from the Mississippi River on St. Paul's east side is expected to be released later today. The medical examiner says the victim was a man and had been in the water for some time. The victim's body was recovered yesterday. Corn planting time has arrived in Minnesota. John is with farm editor Les Heen, who will tell us about it. John, Les?
Thank you, Melissa. Yeah, this seems a little early for corn planting.
It is early, and we've just got a little bit of a start on it, but considering the late start we had last year, this seems really early. Very early. Spring field work continues to move ahead of schedule. During the last week, some farmers got an early start on corn planting. According to the State Ag Statistics Service, 1% of the state's corn has been planted, and another 24% of the corn ground is ready for planting. And on average, year farmers have just started preparing fields about this time. Wheat planting is also ahead of schedule, 31% complete compared to a normal 5%. And farmers are off to a fast start due to warm weather and dry soil. 59% of the state has adequate topsoil moisture, while 41% of the state is short to very short on soil moisture. Most farmers want some rain during the next few weeks to help pull the newly planted crops out of the soil. For some farmers this planting season, a bigger worry is just getting enough money to plant. To help that situation, Tennessee Congressman Ed Jones has asked the Ag Department to provide another $500 million for planting loans. Jones asked Ag Secretary Richard Ling for the money because he says 21 states have used up most of their FMHA planting money. And to build the export market for U.S. crops, Secretary Richard Ling is in Japan this week. He's there with Trade Representative Clayton Yeiter. Ling wants to open up the Japanese market to more beef and citrus products and reduce trade tensions. Japan's tariff on imported beef raises the price of some cut steaks in Japan to $30 a pound. And speculation about U.S. exports pushed some futures prices higher on the Chicago Board of Trade. Soybeans gained 3 to 6 cents, with May up to $5.17½ per bushel. Traders said weekend rain in Brazil caused rumors that the crop there may be damaged. Wheat dropped as much as 4 cents, with May down to $2.82½. Corn gained because of a lack of farmer selling over the weekend. May corn closed up at $1.73 3/4. John, of course, we've been talking about futures this week and exactly what futures are. I'd like to take a look now at some of the other futures contracts. We always talk about May. In fact, if you have May futures that we sell, we have many others. For example, if you were to talk about corn contracts, these are some of the ones being traded now: July, September, December, March, May. So if you're talking about corn futures, you could trade all the way through up to next July.
You can have your choice of months to get burned in, can't you?
Yeah, and that's what so many people do in commodities, especially if they haven't studied it.
It is dangerous.
Oh, yeah, it's tough trading.
Don't play around in commodities. Yeah. Thanks, Les. Still to come on Sunrise, a way to help kids get into the science field. Stay tuned.
Z-Bart asks, can your new car dealer pass the truth and rust test?
Do you have genuine Z-Bart rust protection?
Sure, it's Z-Bart. It's just like... It's Howard. Z-Bart uses 2 gallons of sealant. Do you? 2? One.
Does your warranty cover the whole car like Z-Bart?
The whole...
If your dealer doesn't have Z-Bart rust protection, say...
I'll take it to Z-Bart.
Go Z-Bart, the car improvement specialist.
Save $100 on the Z-Bart Gold Shield Protection Package now.
We're Town & Country Dodge, and even though we're Minnesota's newest Dodge dealer, we're all pros when it comes to saving you money.
Like discounts of up to $1,200 on new Caravans.
Now yours for just $12,857 or $254 a month.
Plus Chrysler 770 protection, the best in the business.
Now save up to $1,200 on Caravan, the van that really packs it all in.
Tom, Caravan would be perfect to take shopping.
Oh no, now I've done it.
Town & Country Dodge in Hopkins. Call 935-3371.
Embers is cooking up something new and exciting. Let's take a peek. Hot and spicy Cajun dishes. Tender, flavorful grilled cod. 14 exciting new taste treats. The finest ingredients prepared to your complete satisfaction. If you haven't been to Embers recently, we've got a surprise for you. Come see what's cooking at Embers.
Have fun this spring. Join a spring bowling league. At Diamond Lake West, West St. Paul, Wallabies, Columbia Heights, Diamond Lake South, South Minneapolis, Earl Brown Bowl, Brooklyn Center, Diamond Lake Rosemont, Biltmore Lanes, Edina, Midway Pro Bowl, St. Paul. Join a 10-week spring bowling league now, and you'll be eligible for balls, bags, shoes, jackets, and other merchandise. Spring bowling leagues begin in May, so hurry and get your friends together and join a spring bowling league right now.
This is AIDS Awareness Day in several states across the country, and Illinois public health officials have decided to use some unusual tactics in their awareness campaign. The campaign will include brochures, comedy, and a rap song. Officials say they don't intend to be offensive, they just want to be effective in getting their message across. And
in our medical report this morning, Dr. Dina Dell has an important health advisory for humans from an unexpected source, man's best friend.
How much is that doggy in the window? The one with the waggly tail.
Ah, puppies. Nothing could be cuter. Some perverted microbiologists, though, think that this is cute also, with those little eyes looking up at you. This is not so cute. It's called Giardia, and it's an intestinal parasite that you may be able to catch from puppies. I'll leave the symptoms to your imagination. An important question is, when you buy a puppy from a pet store, is it really that likely that the puppy has parasites or worms? Well, no less august an organization than the Center for Disease Control decided to check 143 puppies in 14 pet stores and found that 52% of puppies had Giardia after only one test. The rate is probably higher if you repeated the test. 34% of puppies had Toxocara, a worm that can infect humans. It turns out that most of these puppies had received some form of anti-parasite medication at the store. But, an important but, only 40% of the stores advised the customers that they had to continue deworming and anti-parasite treatments once the dog left the store. After all, puppies are wonderful companions. Playing with them can even help lower blood pressure and reduce stress. So make sure that your puppy's healthy. You can't really rely on whether a puppy looks healthy, and you can't really rely on these tests either. For instance, we think that all puppies have Toxocara. It comes through the placenta from their mother. So the best bet, if you buy a puppy, take it to the vet and get routine treatment. I'm Dr. Dina Dell.
Questions for Dina Dell can be sent to Box 111, Minneapolis, 55440. In our For Kids' Sake segment this morning, a local boy wins a national contest. Melissa's with Kids' Sake anchor April Yeager. Melissa?
Thank you, John. How are you doing today, April?
I'm pretty good. How about you?
Good, pretty good, but probably not as good as that Glencoe boy.
No. A 12-year-old Glencoe boy is $2,500 richer this morning. Adrian Shaw won a national greeting card competition with his entry of a Mother's Day card. His card will be featured in the May edition of Good Housekeeping magazine. Shaw says he'll use the money to buy a 10-speed bike and will save the rest. Kids in high school sometimes have to make difficult choices between subjects, especially when they don't know what field they want to go into. Gail Plawacki tells us about a program to give young women insight to scientific fields.
And what we want to do today is point out all the opportunities
that you have if you pursue a technical career.
Scientific jobs aren't just for men, is the message that women from 3M are trying to get across to female high school students. By describing their own career backgrounds and the work they do, they hope to encourage girls to keep taking science subjects.
That's how I ended up going into the area of physics. And I found physics was so interesting, so exciting.
Although women are pursuing technical careers,